I'm so sorry, Jennifer. She's been so withdrawn since Rob died. She's like some sad zombie, just wandering through life. I understood what my wife Lisa was talking about. Jennifer and Rob have been our friends for 5 years. Rob died suddenly and horribly a year ago. Some idiot who believes in conspiracy theories decided to crack down on the local authorities. Rob happened to be at City Hall paying his water bill when this idiot started shooting. The only good thing about this whole stupid story was that the idiot was shot by the police. I was glad to hear this. I wanted him to suffer. He has a name, but I will only call him Idiot. Jennifer was a beautiful and cheerful woman before this incident. Now she almost always wears Rob's old sweatpants. The last time she dressed up was at Rob's funeral in a black dress. Her face rarely expresses any emotion. She leaves the house only when necessary. It is sad and sad to see a wonderful person fade away like this. Lisa is Jennifer's best friend and does everything she can to help her. For the first months after Rob's death, Lisa practically lived with Jennifer, and now she spends every free minute with her. I think that without Lisa's constant support, Jennifer might no longer be with us. The whole situation is terrible. Besides, it was all so unnecessary. A little research would have shown this idiot how wrong he was. I don't think he was really looking for the truth. He just wanted to strike those whom he considered stronger than himself. The only thing he achieved was to bring suffering to innocent people and die in agony. I pulled Lisa to me and hugged her tightly. Darling, you did everything you could. I've already racked my brains trying to figure out how to help her. Me too. She will never agree to go out into the world, no matter how much I persuade her. She only goes for groceries. She cut herself off from the world. She needs to be held, to be loved, to be able to smile again. I held her for a while, thinking about her words. What Lisa said about Jennifer needing a hug made me think, Lisa, we need to find Jennifer someone. She needs a kind man or woman who can hold her, make her feel alive again. She needs to understand that even though Rob is gone, she is still a beautiful woman who deserves to feel something more than just grief and loss. Lisa hugged me tighter. She needs someone like you. Now we just need to find this person and get Jennifer to meet us halfway. The next evening, Lisa and I were relaxing on the couch. She had just returned from an evening visit with Jennifer. I saw that she was thinking about something. What are you thinking about, honey? I asked. Today I had an idea to help Jennifer. I need your help to realize it. You know I will do everything I can to help you and Jennifer. What can I do that you haven't tried yet? Seduce her. What? Honey, you can't be serious. This could go down so many wrong paths and only make things worse. Not to mention, you're my wife, not Jennifer. I understand everything. I thought about this all day. You are an amazing husband and lover. Jennifer is my best friend, and she is suffering. I know you would be the perfect man to make love to her to bring her back to life. Even if she agrees, it will be cheating on you. I don't consider this cheating. It would be cheating if you had an affair with her behind my back, and I want to share the joy that you bring to me with a friend whom I love and who is in dire need of joy. For me, this is an act of love, not betrayal. I didn't think about it. It sounds reasonable in your head, but reality is a completely different matter. I'm not asking you to sleep with some dubious woman. I know how much you like her. I laughed. Yes, you have to be blind not to notice how beautiful she is. But even if we go for it, what happens next? Jennifer is in a very fragile emotional state right now. We are not psychologists and can only make things worse. I understand that. We shouldn't push. Every step should be taken only according to her wishes. I don't want her to regret what she does. I'm not sure I'm ready for this yet. But while it comes down to it, how do we organize this? Dancing. What? You want to learn to dance so that you can teach me later. I always wanted you and I to dance tango, and not just in bed. It won't be a lie, and Jennifer is a wonderful dancer. This will at least get her out of the house. She will spend time with people who care about her, even if the seduction doesn't happen. Jennifer really loved to dance, so much so that she used to run a dance studio until Rob died. After his death, she lost all interest in it and sold the studio. Rob, on the other hand, danced as if he had no rhythm or coordination. Disgusting. Often, when we went to the club, I would dance with Jennifer, and Rob would approve. I would love to learn to dance, and it would definitely help Jennifer. But we'll see with temptation. Lisa smiled. She knew that when her husband was in Jennifer's arms, he would change his mind. Lisa. Jennifer lived just 2 houses away from Steve and me. I went to see her for morning coffee, as was our custom. As usual, I walked in without knocking, and, as usual, Jennifer was already waiting for me in the kitchen. She sat at the kitchen table, staring at one point. Her hair was a mess, and she was wearing Rob's old tracksuit. She looked terrible and smelled bad. I was nervous and felt some apprehension. If my idea doesn't work, I'll have no more options. I was afraid that I would just watch my friend slowly fade away until she decided to take her own life. I tried to start a conversation with her, but in response I received only the usual monosyllabic answers. I could no longer bear to see her in this state. "Jennifer, come with me," I said decisively. At first she resisted when I tried to help her to her feet, but eventually she gave in and allowed me to take her to the bathroom. The room was, like her entire house, sterilely clean. The only thing she did was obsessively clean her house and dance until she was completely exhausted. It seemed strange to me that she cleaned so thoroughly, but at the same time completely neglected herself. But that will soon change. I started to take off her sweater, and she began to resist. "Stop resisting. You smell bad, and we're going to clean you up. You can help me, or I'll take a bucket of cold water and pour it on you. In any case, I will rid you of this smell." She didn't say anything, but allowed me to take off her clothes. I led her into the shower and undressed myself to join her. She leaned against me and soon began to cry. I held her close to me as her body shook with sobs. I haven't heard her cry since the day of the funeral. She cried for a long time, until finally I helped her up and rinsed her hair. I dried us both off and helped us out of the shower. She kissed me again, and for the first time since Rob died, I saw clarity in her eyes. "I love you, Lisa." "I love you too, but we're not done yet. You need your nails cut, and I'll take you to the salon to get it done." When I returned with the necessary tools, she was already lying on the bed. Her eyes followed me as I entered the room and approached her. Her smile brought tears to my eyes. Her voice was quiet. "I've never seen you completely naked before. You are incredibly beautiful." I blushed at her compliment. "You are beautiful too, and you will become even more beautiful." All this led to us making love. I heard her sigh softly. "If I knew that being with you would be like this, I would have done this many years ago." I laughed. "Yes, me too." "Can I ask a stupid question?" "Certainly." "What day is it today?" "Monday." "What number?" "The 14th of June." I didn't even know how much time had passed since I last paid attention to the days. I will remember this day forever. "Why?" "This is the day my beloved friend made love to me for the first time." She turned to me and looked into my eyes. "And the day I first did the same for her." We spent the morning in her bed. We only got out of bed to have dinner and a glass of wine. I almost cried when I said something funny, and she laughed back. Jennifer saw my tears and immediately hugged me. I reminded myself that one day won't fix everything. My friend, my lover, will need much more time and help than one day can give. After lunch, we collected the dirty laundry and the smelly tracksuit she had been wearing for who knows how long. I went outside with her when she threw them into the trash container. She started crying again, and I hugged her. "Jennifer, please listen to me. You just threw away your old, dirty clothes. You don't need her to feel connected to Rob. He will always be with you." We returned to the house. We lay down on the bed, already dressed, and just snuggled up to each other. I woke up an hour later and looked at her while she slept. Her face no longer looked like she was constantly holding back pain. She looked alive and very beautiful. I woke her up with kisses, and she smiled at me. We kissed again for a while and just enjoyed the intimacy. After that, I decided to take the next step. Jennifer, if you can, I need to ask you for a favor. Certainly. Wait until you hear what this request is. Fine. Steve always wanted to learn how to dance tango so he could teach me. He has a good sense of rhythm, and I'm happy to teach him. All he had to do was ask. He was always embarrassed to take lessons in the studio. I think he would decide if we could study at our home. Will you teach him us? Yes, I think it will be useful for me too. It's time for me to get out of the house more often. Should we start tonight? You come to dinner, and then we'll dance. She smiled, and it warmed my heart. Okay, I'll come. And one more thing. I'm going to tell Steve about what happened between us today. I know he will be as happy as I am that this happened. I love you both, and there should be no secrets between us. Well, maybe one, but I hope it won't be for long. Her expression was priceless. I kissed her deeply before she could ask any questions. We kissed for some time, and I went home. I couldn't wait to tell Steve everything that happened. Steve. I walked into the kitchen through the garage and saw my beaming wife waiting for me. She wrapped her arms around my neck and kissed me enthusiastically. When we finally broke apart, I hugged her tightly. That was the best welcome kiss I've had in a long time. What happened that made you so happy? The last thing is that Jennifer is coming to dinner tonight and has agreed to teach you tango. Wow, this is incredible. You work fast. You said last, so what happened first? Well, you know she wore that tracksuit all the time. But what you don't know is that she has completely stopped caring about personal hygiene. When I went to see her in the morning, she stank so much that my eyes almost watered. I decided enough was enough and dragged her to the bathroom. I got into the shower with her and washed her. Well, one thing after another, and we made love. What did you say? Yes, can you believe this? I'm still processing what you said. That's not all. Damn it, anything else? Then we repeated everything in the bedroom. She really liked it. I couldn't help but smile. Wow, you're not kidding me. I'm not kidding. After that, she decided to answer me in kind. We spent most of the day making love. I even convinced her to throw away that terrible tracksuit. I was in awe of my wife. You must be completely emotionally drained. No, on the contrary, I am full of energy and joy. You know, I've never had sex with a woman before, and I'm so happy that Jennifer was my first. I kissed my amazing wife. When we finally broke away from each other, I grinned. I'd like to see it. That must have been damn hot. She playfully slapped my hand. Typical man. It was more than that, it was an act of love and healing. For both of us. Jennifer was able to get out of her grief, at least temporarily, and I got my friend back. But we need to move slowly. I don't want her to feel like we're using her or talking down to her. Of course, dear. I think we'll leave bed matters aside tonight, unless she initiates something herself. And even in this case, you need to be careful. I helped her start preparing dinner and then went into the living room to rearrange the furniture. I rolled up a rug to protect the hardwood floor. When we first moved into the house, I removed the old carpet and discovered beautiful hardwood floors. I restored it, and now it will serve as a wonderful dance floor for us. Lisa helped me move the sofa to the wall. I rearranged the chairs myself and then set up the audio system. I'm an audiophile, and the system I put together provides amazing sound quality. I turned on romantic music, and we waited for Jennifer to bring the tango music. I had the equipment to reproduce it regardless of the format. I was fiddling with my audio system when Jennifer walked into the house. I turned around at the sound of the door and froze. Jennifer wore tight dancewear. She did not stop dancing, even during her grief. Lisa told me that she often found Jennifer in a tracksuit, slumped on the floor of her home studio after hours of training. The muscles on her legs caught my eye. I forced myself not to look too long at her incredible breasts and looked at her face. She looked into my eyes for the first time since Rob died. My face turned red from embarrassment. Sorry, Jen, I didn't mean to stare like that. She approached me, but her eyes did not meet mine. Did Lisa tell you about what happened today? Yes, she did, and I'm very happy for both of you. She looked up and met my eyes. Is it true? I don't want to cause you and Lisa any problems. You have never been a problem for us. We love you, Jen, and we want you to be happy. I stood there dumbfounded as she hugged me, but I soon came to my senses and hugged her back too. She snuggled up to me and put her head on my shoulder. We stood there for quite some time. Jennifer finally let me go, and at that moment Lisa entered the room. She turned to Lisa. He said he was happy for us. Did you tell him everything? What happened between us? Lisa walked up to Jennifer and kissed her on the lips. Yes, I told you I would tell you. She continued to kiss her, and Jennifer readily kissed her back. If someone had asked me a question at this point, I would have responded with something like, I breathed a sigh of relief when they no longer paid attention to me and headed towards the kitchen. After dinner, I turned on the tango music that Jennifer had brought, and we began our lesson. 20 minutes into the workout, I was drenched in sweat and could barely stand. The dancing was a lot harder than I thought it would be, but I enjoyed it. Jennifer showed me the moves and then practiced them with me. When she decided that I had mastered them, I trained with Lisa. After half an hour, we took a break to wipe off the sweat and drink water. I could only wonder, when did seduction become training? After another half hour, Jennifer smiled and said that it was time for us to stop. We have to stop, otherwise Steve will simply collapse from fatigue. Well done to both of you today. We've mastered the first few steps. You still have a long way to go before the competition, but it's a very good start. I switched the music to the romantic playlist that had been playing before the tango class started and smiled at her. It was fun. I really enjoyed it, but now I need a shower. I quickly showered, put on shorts, and returned to the living room. Lisa and Jennifer were dancing when I entered the room. Their bodies were merged into one, as were their lips as they slowly moved to the music. My heart swelled with love, and I stood in stunned silence as I watched them. They were so beautiful and loved each other so much that I didn't even feel jealous. I felt proud to share my wife with our friend. He was proud of his wife for her enormous ability to love. And I was very attracted to Jennifer because of the way she loved Lisa. If Jennifer only wanted to be with Lisa, I would be happy. Watching them together brought me joy. I didn't know if being with Jennifer would make me happier, but I was definitely willing to find out. The music ended, and they slowly pulled away from each other. It took them a while to notice me. You both looked so beautiful when you danced together that I couldn't take my eyes off you. Lisa started kissing me. She later told me that she was watching Jennifer out of the corner of her eye at that moment. That's how she saw tears streaming down Jennifer's face. Lisa immediately rushed towards her, and I realized that the best thing for me would be to leave the room. My presence clearly didn't help. Lisa. I literally rushed to Jennifer as soon as I saw her tears. I hugged her tightly as she cried. A few minutes later, she sobbed. I miss Rob so much. I miss him and the way he touched me. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. I just thought you'd like to watch me touch Steve. I'm sorry it reminded you of Rob. It's not because of that. All your love for each other touched me. She left soon after. I went into bed with my husband, and after convincing him that everything was okay, I had passionate sex with him. Steve. The routine of dinner and dance lessons continued for the next few days. Jennifer and Lisa were close, but I hadn't seen them do anything more than kiss yet. My loving side wanted to give them the space they needed. Their friendship had taken a new and wonderful direction, and they needed time to explore it. The male part of me wanted to watch. Every evening after class, I would shower, change into shorts, and return to the living room. Lisa and Jennifer were dancing and kissing when I returned. It always touched me deeply and excited me at the same time. On Thursday evening, I returned to the room and, as usual, stood frozen in the doorway, watching them. I heard their laughter, whispers, and they dispersed. Lisa came up to me. "Hello, dear. What do you have here?" She looked at Jennifer. "Are you okay?" Jennifer watched, hypnotized. "What?" I asked if everything was okay. "Yes, everything is fine." Lisa let go of me and walked over to Jennifer. She kissed her. Lisa looked into her eyes. "Nothing will happen if you don't want it, but I hope that right now you will ask me to make love to you while my husband watches." She kissed Jennifer again and then looked into her eyes. "Is there something you want?" Jennifer nodded. "Tell me, Jennifer. We love you, and you don't have to do anything if you don't want to." "What do you want?" "I want to." "Is there anything else?" "Yes." "Tell me." "I want Steve to join." Lisa smiled. "I think we can arrange it." We did it. I headed to the shower. Having finished, I went to bed. After some time, Lisa came to me, and I hugged her tightly. It was the most incredible sight in my life. "You two look so beautiful together, it almost hurts. I understand why you not only love each other, but also fall in love." She hugged me tightly. "I really love her and am falling in love with her. All I ask is that you make room in your heart for me." Lisa sat up in bed and took my face in her hands. "No one will ever replace you. Not now, not ever." We kissed again for a long time, and she lay down on my shoulder. "Steve, I know I can love you both, and I think you will understand that we can all love each other. This is a good quality of love. We have an endless supply of it if we are willing to share it. When we are afraid that there won't be enough of it, that's when sad things happen. You are a wise woman. You understood that sooner or later this would happen. My golden model of the perfect man will inevitably attract women like honey attracts bears. Actually, honey attracts bees, not bears. If everything you said is true about the golden model, then our house should have been surrounded by a crowd of fans long ago. It seems to me that bears are a more logical option. Bees make honey and eat it. They have enough honey at home, they don't need to attract themselves to it. But bears are drawn to honey because it's delicious, and they don't have it in their dens. As for the crowd, why do you think I put up a privacy fence? Bees, bears, what's the difference? The fence is at the back of the yard. Well, yes, this is the side where our bedroom window is. She pressed herself close to me. "I love you, even if you are a little delirious. Good night." "I love you too." Lisa. On Friday morning, I sat in Jennifer's kitchen, and we drank our traditional morning coffee. Surprisingly, it didn't take me long to convince her to go shopping to buy new underwear. All her old underwear was for Rob, and she couldn't wear it anymore. I packed it and took it home. I'll get rid of it later because I didn't want her crying in the dumpster throwing it out. We had a great time trying things on and warming each other up. I stretched out the shopping as long as I could because I knew that if we finished too early, we'd go home and start trying on new lingerie, which would lead to amazing sex. But I wanted Jennifer to remain aroused, not satisfied. I was looking forward to today's dance lessons. We had lunch at a local bistro. After that, we went to the salon and gave her a manicure. Jennifer was glowing. She finally began to rise from the depths of despair into which this tragic incident had driven her. She was still very fragile, but she began to live again. Steve and I were determined to support it as long as necessary. We got home before Steve finished work. I left Jennifer to sort out her new purchases and returned home. When Steve walked in, I, of course, did not miss the opportunity to greet him with a welcome home kiss. Steve wanted to enjoy the fact that it was Friday, so we just sat on the couch for a while. "Steve, dear?" "Yes, honey." "I had a great day with Jennifer. We got rid of her old underwear and went shopping for some new ones. We had lunch and even did her nails. We spent the whole day in public, and she did great." "This is great. This was a huge step for her. I know it's only been a few days, but I'm confident she's on the road to recovery." "I think so too. She was stuck in an endless loop of grief. I think deep down she wanted to break out of it, but didn't know how. A little help from a friend was what she needed. That's what friends are for. So, I thought it would be nice to go to dinner tonight and invite Jennifer to join us. Nothing too serious, just dinner with friends. What do you think? Sounds great. We'll know better when we ask her. What about dancing? I think it would be great to come home and practice what we have already learned. We'll wear the clothes we usually dance in, and we can make it more romantic. Sounds great. I'll call Jennifer right now and ask her out on a date with us. Are you going to call her? Yes, I have to show Jennifer that she is important to me too. A few minutes later, Steve was talking to Jennifer on the phone. He used his deep, sexy voice, and the conversation was on speakerphone. She answered the second ring. Hi, Lisa. I just finished sorting out all my shopping. What's happening? Jennifer, this is Steve. Oh, sorry. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. In fact, everything is just amazing thanks to you. What? First of all, you came back to us. You have no idea how much this means to me. Secondly, you and Lisa are an amazing couple. That's very nice of you. I always say what I think. You are a beautiful and sexy woman. So beautiful and sexy that I would like you to join us on a date with Lisa. I'd like to invite you to dinner. Do you want me to be your dinner date? Yes. I don't know. I promise that your virtue is safe unless you decide you don't want to keep it. If this happens, I promise that you will not regret your decision. Well, please. Cold. Amazing. We're going to dinner at Donahue's. I'll pick you up at 7. I can just walk. My companion deserves to be taken like a lady. I'll pick you up. He did great, and I hugged him tightly. Donahue's is a good choice. Not too fancy, but enough for Jennifer and I to dress up. That's exactly what I meant. Why don't you talk to Jennifer about what you'll be wearing? I need to go away for a while. When I return, I will also start getting ready, and you can surprise me with your outfits. One more thing. When we pick Jennifer up, I want you to sit in the back. I don't want her to think that this is a date between you and her, and I'm just nearby. I kissed him deeply, and he left. I called Jennifer. I heard you have a date? Her voice was excited. Yes, a handsome man invited me to dinner, and as far as I understand, there will be another gorgeous woman there. It will be me. How about we meet and discuss what we should wear? Sounds great. Then hang up and come to me. I wanted to start with my outfit because I wanted to set the tone. I pulled out some sexy dresses that looked sexy but not too provocative. Each of the dresses hinted at hidden treasures, but they were elegant rather than tacky. If I allowed a little intimate touching, I could dance in any of them, and I was ready. I hoped Jennifer would be ready too. Jennifer didn't hesitate and chose a sexy outfit to which she added her new lingerie. She looked happy and was a little nervous about the date because she wanted to make a good impression. In truth, she could have worn a potato sack and Steve would have still liked it. I decided not to share this thought with her. I was standing in the living room when Steve walked in, ready for his date. He looked stunning. He came to me and kissed me deeply. Then he looked me in the eyes and said, "You look amazing, but tonight I want to focus on Jennifer. Now I'll kiss you again, and then all my attention will be only for her." He kissed me passionately. I could hardly restrain myself from dragging him into bed right there. We got into the car, and I sat in the back seat as we pulled up to Jennifer's house. Steve got out of the car with a red rose in his hands and walked to the door. Jennifer opened the door, and I saw him handing her a rose. She picked it up, carried it inside, and then walked out the door again. They walked to the car hand in hand, and Steve opened the door for her. I noticed his eyes widened as she sat down in the seat. "Steve, I thought a red rose would be a good idea. This date is not about friendship. It's about love, and I wanted my intentions to be clear." When Jennifer opened the door, I was almost speechless. I had no trouble complimenting her on her dress. She looked stunning. When I handed her the rose, it surprised her for a moment. She immediately knew that red meant love, and her eyes lit up when she looked at me. She quickly put the rose in a vase, and I walked her to the car. When she sat down, I could see her new underwear. I looked up at her face again, and she smiled slyly. She didn't miss my interest in her choice of outfit. I got into the car, and we drove off. Along the way, I kept her in conversation. As she got into the car, she waved to Lisa in the back seat. The rest of the way, Jennifer gave me her full attention. 3 of us enjoyed dinner in a nice restaurant. I took every opportunity to touch Jennifer. I would lightly touch her arm, shoulder, or forearm to make her feel that I admired her. I wanted her to feel wanted, and it was surprisingly easy because it was the truth. I didn't ignore Lisa. That would be mean, and I am not mean to my wife. The dynamics were different this evening. I gave Jennifer the attention that I usually give to Lisa, and at the same time I felt the same attraction to her. The 3 of us had a great time. We drank 2 bottles of champagne at dinner, most of which Lisa and Jennifer shared. I limited myself to 2 glasses during the entire dinner. When the waiter left to prepare the bill, I took Jennifer's hand. "I don't want this evening to end. Will you please come to my house and dance with me?" Jennifer blushed slightly. "I don't want the evening to end either. It would be nice to dance." We drove home, and instead of parking in the garage, I parked in the driveway. I led Jennifer into the living room. The curtains were drawn and soft candlelight illuminated the room. Quiet romantic music was playing. I chose songs that we could practice our tango steps to, but at a slower tempo. She didn't hesitate. I don't know if the environment initially reminded her of our training, and she just let herself go with the flow, or if there was a real attraction. But I know for sure that the small distance between us that was during training no longer existed. Her body merged with mine, and we started dancing. I was completely engrossed in her, our movements were in sync, and I was completely captivated. I looked into her eyes, and the expression on her face told me that she wanted my lips on hers. I kissed her. We continued to dance slowly. When the song ended, we stopped dancing, but kept moving. The evening ended with us having sex, and then we fell asleep. We woke up and had a fun breakfast together. Jennifer got dressed, and I insisted on driving her home, even though her house was only a couple of minutes away. I walked her to the door and kissed her. When our lips parted, I held her hands. "I hope you want to see me again, Jennifer. I enjoyed your company more than I can describe." She smiled. "Oh, there's no doubt about it. You and Lisa can see me whenever you want." She took a step back, and as I was about to leave, she closed the door and whispered, "How about right now?" 2 hours later, I returned to the kitchen, where Lisa was waiting for me with open arms. First, we did what friends do, helped a friend when she needed it. We were lucky that we were able to bring her back from the very edge of the abyss. In response, our amazing friend gave us her love. You can never have too many true friends or too much love in life. The days passed as usual, and our life with Lisa took a new direction. Jennifer became a part of our lives again, but now the relationship was more complex, deeper, and much more intimate. We learned to cope with new feelings by exploring the boundaries of what was possible and trying not to destroy what we had built over the years. Steve was great. He treated Jennifer with the same warmth and love that he treated me. But I felt that somewhere inside him there were remnants of doubt. He loved being with Jennifer, but he was afraid that it might change us. One night, when we were sitting together, I asked him, "Steve, are you happy? Is everything okay?" He looked at me, his gaze was serious, but affectionate. "Yes, Lisa, I'm happy. But you're right, I think sometimes it all confuses me a little. I'm not used to this. Openness of feelings. This is not exactly what I expected from our life." "Do you think this will change us?" I asked, gently touching his hand. "Not really, but I don't want to lose you. You are my life, my wife, and with Jennifer, I don't want her to be relegated to the background, but I also don't want you to feel like anything has changed between us." I smiled and hugged him tenderly. "We will never lose each other, Steve. I love you more than anything in the world, And Jennifer is just another form of love. It will not replace us. It will not divide us. I believe that we are strong enough to be together and loving enough to include someone else in our lives. Steve nodded, and I saw his eyes light up. He took my hand and squeezed it. You're right. As always, I'm just afraid of change. I kissed him, knowing that we would make it through this. Jennifer. Jennifer became more and more confident, and her smile returned every day. The three of us started spending more time together, sometimes walking in the park, sometimes sitting at home and just chatting. But one day she admitted to me that she was tormented by memories of Rob. Lisa, I love you both, and I am grateful to you for saving me from complete despair. But sometimes I still feel like I'm cheating on Rob. He was my life, my support, and now that he is gone, I sometimes feel guilty that I find happiness without him. I hugged her, knowing that her words were sincere and deep. You're not cheating on Rob, Jennifer. He will always be a part of you, and just because you love us doesn't change the fact that you loved him. You can move on with your life by keeping him in your heart. She nodded, but I could see that it was still hard for her. At that moment, I decided that we all needed to take a step forward. We had to find a way to live in peace with what was between us. I knew it wouldn't be easy, but I believed that together we could do it. The next step was not easy. Jennifer agreed to return to her old hobbies. She started dancing again in the studio that she had once sold. We started going there together, supporting her every step of the way. Her progress was incredible, and I saw her come back to life. One evening, as we were returning home from dance class, Jennifer suddenly suggested, how about we go somewhere further? Not just dancing at home and dinners for the three of us. Maybe we could go on vacation, three of us. Steve and I looked at each other. The idea was new, but alluring. That's a great idea, Jennifer, I said. I think that would be exactly what we need. New experience, new memories. Our journey began with the decision to go for a week to a small resort town by the sea, where there are few tourists, calm beaches, and beautiful nature. This seemed like the perfect place to relax, let go of all the stress, and enjoy each other's company. We booked a house right on the beach, and from the first minutes we were there, it was clear that this place was exactly what we all needed. On the second day of our vacation, we decided to go on an excursion to a neighboring town. The small streets were full of cafes where locals relaxed after work, and small shops with souvenirs. The three of us were walking around, chatting and laughing, when we noticed a small outdoor dance floor with live music. Several couples twirled in rhythm, and Jennifer looked at it all with genuine interest for the first time in a long time. Let's dance, she suddenly suggested. Are you sure? Steve asked, slightly surprised. Yes, I think I'm ready, she smiled. The three of us started dancing to the music, and Jennifer looked like a real queen. Her lightness and grace returned, and I saw her come alive with every step. And then he appeared. A man, a little older than us, but with youthful energy and calm confidence, came closer and watched us with a slight smile. Tall, with light gray hair, he looked like a man who had devoted his entire life to an active lifestyle. His eyes met Jennifer's for a moment, and there was something more in that gaze than just interest in the dance. After finishing the melody, he decisively approached Jennifer, bowed lightly, and extended his hand. May I ask you to dance? He said with a slight smile. Jennifer froze for a moment, and I saw her hesitate. But her eyes lit up, and she accepted his invitation. They started dancing, and for the first time in a long time, I saw Jennifer actually smile. Her movements became even more confident, and this stranger clearly knew what he was doing. When the dance ended, he introduced himself. My name is Alexander. I'm a dance instructor, but today I'm just relaxing. Jennifer blushed slightly, but answered, I'm Jennifer. I used to have my own dance studio, but I haven't danced for a long time. Well, then you and I definitely have something to talk about, Alexander said with sincere interest. Would you like to join me for dinner tonight? Jennifer looked back at Steve and me, as if looking for support. We both nodded, smiling. Of course, she replied, her voice sounding confident. In the evening, we all met together in a restaurant, but it was clear that Alexander and Jennifer could not take their eyes off each other. He was attentive to her words, was interested in her life and experiences, but did not put pressure on her. He was the man who didn't try to take Rob's place, but was able to show Jennifer that life goes on and that she can be happy again. Steve and I exchanged glances at the table, knowing that this evening was the start of something important for Jennifer. We gave them time to chat by leaving a little early. Jennifer stayed with Alexander on the restaurant terrace, and when she returned to our house late that evening, her face was beaming. "How did it go?" I asked when we were alone. "It was amazing. I didn't know I could still feel something like that. He is very attentive, but does not try to treat my pain. It's easy, and I don't feel guilty about enjoying his company." I hugged her, happy for my friend. "You deserve to be happy, Jennifer. I'm so glad you understand that." In the following days of our vacation, Alexander joined us more and more often. We spent a lot of time together, but it was clear that he and Jennifer had a special rapport. He was patient, did not rush things, but his every gesture and look showed that he was sincerely interested in her. Just before he left, he made a proposal to Jennifer that stunned us all. "Jennifer, if you want, I will be glad to continue our dancing when you return home. I also have a studio in your city, and I would like to give you individual lessons. It's not just about dancing, it's about life. I want to help you find yourself again." Jennifer thought about it, but there was no longer the pain in her eyes that was there before. She smiled and replied, "I'll think about it, but thank you for everything you have done for me during this time." When our holiday came to an end, we all felt that we would return home changed people. Jennifer found a new friend and perhaps someone with whom she could build a new relationship. Steve and I were happy for her, knowing that we had helped her find a path to a new life. A dance that began by chance became a new step towards healing, love, and freedom. Subscribe to our channel so that your love doesn't cheat on you, and go ahead and listen to the next story, because this story is nothing compared to the next one. If you're under 18, don't even think click to the next one. Click to the next one. Click to the next